Hi everyone, this is Michelle. Welcome back to my channel, Expat Life Mexico, formerly Afro Expats. Today I have the absolute pleasure of speaking to two of my guests that recently visited us here in San Miguel and my guest house, Casa ELM Boutique Guest House. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, please do so. CasaELM.com, that's ELM.com. And also you can visit expatlifemexico.com. But anyway, the point of sharing this is I just wanted folks to just have a little bit of insight on the experiences that our amazing, beautiful guests have been having here in San Miguel. Sometimes I get a little caught up, but I just wanted to bring these beautiful ladies on. They've agreed to share and talk about their recent visit to the city that I live in and that I continue to share with you all. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Melanie and Miss Teresa, and they're going to let you know where they're from, and then we'll get into the portion of the trip and talk a little bit more about their experiences here. Oh, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel if you watch and you're a regular, and also don't forget to hit the like button. It just helps this come up a little bit more often for those who are interested. So Melanie, go ahead and tell us where you're from.
Okay, thank you for having me, by the way. I live in Orlando, Florida, just slightly, maybe 30 minutes outside in a suburb, originally from Chicago, so I'm a city girl. Lived in Central Florida, maybe 14, 15 years, and had the pleasure of visiting San Miguel de Allende and stayed at Casa ELM. My stay was not long enough. I was there for a little over a week, maybe 7 days. And it takes a good 24 to 48 hours for me to get like comfortable in my skin in a new place, even visiting. It took 24 hours. 24 hours and I was ready. What can I say? It's for me, it really opened my eyes to see how much of my life I am just going through the motions. When I got there and got comfortable and realized this is vacation, not a mission, it turned into more of a mission than a vacation, which I prefer. I got to do some traditions that are done in Mexico on a regular basis that are not quite here in the States that frequent. You literally have to look for them. I went to a local place called, it was actually a smoke lodge that they call a temescal.
Yeah, temescal, see.
Temescal. And that had to be my most memorable experience when I went to Mexico. It just invited me in. The owner of the place was very down to earth and educational about it, but I knew where I was going and what I was walking into. It is a ritual for prayer and for cleansing. Not just the exterior, but your spirit. It's a soul cleansing. So we did a miniature prayer. There were herbs that we used to kind of dust ourselves off to have an intention before going. It was everything that I love and that I do here in the States, but I haven't found that community. And it just happened to just literally be right around the corner. So for me, Mexico offered a lot of that, a lot of that. The art culture is amazing. Of course, it's the home of Frida Kahlo. Has to be one of my favorite artists ever. It's just everything that I grew up on. Right, I'm a city girl. Although it's the city, to me, it felt very much like the city. There's shops everywhere. There's bakeries and coffee shops, and I could have stayed all summer, taking in more. I really got full. You know, I look for that when I invite myself out with people or go to a new place or a new town or a new city, new country, I look for how much it fills me while there and afterwards. And it was very fulfilling for me. I like that I had to slow down because they're not in a rush there. But here we're in such the rat race of getting to the next appointment, making the next dollar, which literally is paying the next bill. I have things I need to put out in the world. I don't have time to be on somebody's schedule all the time. I like my time and my space and being able to do what I want with my time, and it fit the bill for me. And Michelle, you're a phenomenal.
Oh, thank
Have this-
you.
I injured myself with all the cobblestone walking, and I'm a walker, right?
Right.
Of course, I'm wearing the wrong shoes and thinking I'm on
You
vacation.
were cute though. You were cute. You were looking cute. And by the way, Melanie is a tall, beautiful Black lady, and she was even taller with her beautiful. They weren't stilettos, but they were, little cute shoes.
Full platforms until it wasn't cute. And somehow within the hours that I arrived, I had an injury to my hip flexor, right? So the days go on and I'm a trooper. I'm like, okay, maybe it'll wear off. It could have been the plane. Needless to say, Michelle heard my cry and she just whipped out her phone. I think I know someone that can help you with that. And I'm sitting here going, really? Really now?
And they come to the house.
And she came to the house. It was as easy as making the appointment. She made the phone call. She asked my availability, which where else am I going? She made sure that the time was right. And needless to say, it was a phenomenal experience. Not only was she a masseuse, she was a physical therapist. So the massage was excellent. The therapy was dynamic because she literally got my hip back in the socket to the point where I was able to walk, and I enjoyed the evening. We had company that evening too at Casa ELM. Yeah. So after dinner, the masseuse arrived and I literally had a sunset massage right there in the house.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I love her. Laura's amazing. I'm glad that she was able to show up. It's just nice. I think that those are just kind of like some of the things that we don't think about, I guess, having access to living in the US, because I know that, if you typically want something, you go to the place to get that service done. And here I find that it's, there's a lot of ease and more conveniences in this regard. And I think it also plays into that slowing down, where,
absolutely.
I mean, it's not to sound like spoiled or kind of like, oh yeah, it's just kind of, it's just something that's a part of what happens here. I think a lot of people do have a lot of in-home type services. If they're offering, a small mom and pop business, typically will offer to bring things to you if that's needed. And I think a part of that too is the fact that a lot of people don't drive and have vehicles here, and or maybe they're older and they don't have the physical ability to get up and go to a place. So a lot of all these different factors play into that, but I'm certainly grateful for them every day. Really, I'm like, New Mexico, I'm so grateful.
Those are the things that we see in differences in the country, because in the US it's unheard of. That would be something that wealthy people would do. Have access to, if you will, have access to, not necessarily do, but have access to. So I was impressed, and I'm a little bougie when it comes to things like that. And I like what I like, and I'll pay for what I want. So for that to be something that was just at a, an appointment, fingertip away from the phone, and make the appointment, and what a great experience. And then I was able to move forward and enjoy the rest of my time there. Those things I would pay for here, but it just doesn't exist. They have a totally different mindset when it comes to living your life, right?
Yeah, I think
So
so too.
yes, I do. And even though I have um, the experience and knowing that what we do here in the States is not living. We're just providing a service or a source to get something for it.
Right.
And before you know it, you're at retirement age, and you're like, what have I done with my life? So I'm not waiting for the soft land. I'm just gonna land.
Good. Come on down, sister. Come on down.
I make my own landings. If it needs to be soft, I'll make it soft. If I like it rough, then it'll be rough. But no, it was definitely pleasing. There's some things that, of course, you have to get used to. For me, it was and not that it was a negative thing, but for me, it was the noise of the city. Which is very little. They're animal lovers. I'm an animal lover. The dogs are boisterous.
They are.
They speak their mind.
I call it the dog fiesta. As soon as the sun goes down, even during the day, but where I used to live, especially as soon as the sun goes down, I was just like, where did these 50 dogs come from? Like, what's going on out there? But yes, it happens.
But I get it. I mean, we hush our dogs or shush our dogs when they're barking, and they're just they're dogs, and we're going to accept that they are dogs.
Right.
I love that, so that wasn't a harsh for me. It was just a great experience. And Michelle, you helped to soften some of the edges of experiencing another country, even though I've been to Mexico before, just not San Miguel. I like it. I like Mexico as a country in general anyway. I like some of the theories that they stand behind when it comes to their citizens. They have great health care. I've seen some just hospitals and driving by, and you can tell, at least I can, top notch, innovative. On the Edge Cancer Facility, they have one of the top cancer facilities there. And the weather is just can't trade it for anything.
Yes.
It's beautiful. 75 degrees, cool in the morning, which I love because I'm an early bird. So I got to sit out on one of the many balconies at Casa ELM and do my little yoga. That was the day after I had elevation sickness, which I took like a champ as well. There is a thing. I had no idea.
There is. So just so people, elaborate just a tad, San Miguel is not by the beach. We are in the interior. If you haven't heard of us and this is your first time watching my channel, it's San Miguel de Allende, which is in central Mexico. It's really considered the heart of Mexico, and we are in the mountains. It's a mountain town, kind of like surrounded by mountains of Sierra Madres, and we're like within the mountains range, and we are 6,300 feet above sea level. So it's up pretty high, so you can have a lot of thin air, being up higher, that kind of feeling that sometimes bothers people, gives you maybe even almost a feeling of motion sickness, nausea, lightheadedness and things. It can take a couple of days to get used to that. That's a real thing. Yeah,
it's a thing. I did get over it though, in less time than anticipated or that I researched. So the very next morning, like I said, I was up on the balcony out on and doing a little yoga and
Mhm.
enjoying the cool air. So it was just something that I wasn't aware of. So I was curious, like, did I eat something, drink something? No, it
Right.
wasn't that. It's just the elevation.
Mm,
And we have to recognize our bodies. Yeah, and I'm definitely one
true.
who knows my body, and I know when something's on or off. So for
Right.
me, it may have been a little more dramatic than it should have been. But the headache, I got that, I got the nausea, and it just felt like motion sickness. And like I was up early as usual, next morning ready to go.
Good, good. Yeah. Well, it was obviously for me, it was a pleasure. Absolutely. I feel like it was a kind of a breeze in a way because I think the week prior was when we had the relocation tour, and
Hmm.
then Teresa, and then you came, and Miss Gloria was still there, and she is still there, and it
Oh,
was just really like she's actually here until August, I think,
Mhm.
mid-August, and there's another woman that showed up as well a week ago. But for me, it's just kind of like, people come and I'm just like, yeah, like I'm having all these like amazing, beautiful connections. And, like I said, I want to be able to capture these conversations. And so I really appreciate you sharing,
absolutely.
everything. And with that,
Yeah.
let
I
Miss
have to say,
Teresa.
I did enjoy our dinner with the other ladies. That was
Yes.
incredible. Um,
Yes.
yeah, so I'll end on that note and meeting Miss Dixie and Carolyn.
Caroline,
It
yes.
was awesome. It
Yes.
was
By the
great.
way, it's her birthday today, Caroline.
Oh, is
Her
it?
birthday.
Oh,
Happy birthday,
Yeah.
Christine.
Yes. And
did she get her cat?
she's gonna be getting her two fur babies and heading back, I think, in about less than 2 weeks or something like that.
Okay.
But what I wanted to say, one of the things that just was so profound for me today when she and I we do a lot of audio back and forth about whatever. But she was just reflecting on how many people lost their lives in the last couple of years due to COVID and mass shootings and all the stresses and all the things that are crazy that are going on in the world. And she was talking a little bit about getting to put her age out there. She just turned 40, but she's, I mean, that's a
Well,
young,
good.
yeah, of course. And being able to come here, I want other people to know that it's possible. But one of the
Mhm.
things that she really said was, I am happy to just celebrate at home because I have my life and I'm going
Ah,
to live in a place that I love. And she's like, I just feel so at home there, even though I haven't lived there yet full time. She's just,
Mhm.
been doing the motions of getting here. And she's just super, grateful to be able to come down at this time in her life after all these years of COVID and all these issues
yeah,
in the United States. Excuse
Mhm.
me. And I just remember thinking like, yeah, that's a whole lot for all of us to be grateful for.
it
That
is.
we're still alive and we're here and we're, living, and we have this option. And I always say I'm super grateful to Mexico for receiving me. I mean, a lot of people don't know how they're going to be received. So I think that that's a huge plus. Sorry, I'm just like, I'm crying again, but just like something went down wrong. Well, anyway, I'll let Miss Teresa jump in. And oh, by the way, speaking of dinner, she made some amazing oxtails, y'all,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
everything. If you have not had curry oxtail, you've got to try it. It was so good. So I'll let you, and I have to say this too, because I've had plenty of people pray over me, with me, for the house, for my business, for Casa ELM. And yes, she was one of them, and it was amazing. And I'll just tell you that it still resonates so much. I mean, I just, already we were in tears, right? Again,
Yeah.
I'm always
Yeah.
crying. I'm like, what's
Yeah.
going on with me? Like, I'm like, oh, I'm crying all the time. Like I'm, just like, oh. So just wanted to say again, thank you for that, because it was just such a beautiful, unexpected, spontaneous moment. And, I just, that just has stayed with me as well. Yeah.
Well, on that note, I think of the movie Kevin Costner played in it. I can't think of it right now, but there was a saying that said, if you build it, they will come. Shell, you built it and we're coming. And also, if God calls you to do something, he'll send the people to confirm that he called you. And he definitely called you to go to Mexico. And as I said, be our Harriet Tubman, our Moses, and pave a way for us to get to Mexico.
That's right.
Yeah. Get to Mexico and get to San Miguel. And I just like to say my trip kind of started off a little rough because I had a delay in Mexico City. But once I got to San Miguel, there was an immediate calmness. Like I can remember getting out the van and I stepped out and I saw this beautiful house and I just kind of deflated, like all of the anxieties and the stress that I had been feeling trying to get from Mexico City to San Miguel. It went away. And I've been back now 2 weeks and I have to admit, I miss it. I never thought that I would miss it as much as I miss it, but I really do miss it. And I am changed forever. And I know I am.
Absolutely.
And I tell people that, people ask me how my trip was when I went to Mexico. And I tell them, I said, it was phenomenal. It was absolutely wonderful. As Melanie said, the one thing I really appreciated was how you have to slow down. You can't stay on that speed that we're on in America. It forces you in a nurturing way to slow down. It's the way that people talk to you. It's the way that people greet you. It's the way the city moves. Like I can't tell you how many people, how we could literally be in the middle of traffic and Michelle would need to make a U-turn and everybody would just come to a stop and
true.
allow her to make this U-turn. And nobody got out with a gun or nobody cursed her out or blew their
horns blowing.
So it's just this lifestyle where if you have high blood pressure, you need to go to San Miguel, Mexico. I don't know about the rest of the world, Mexico. Go to San Miguel because you're gonna get some new numbers in San Miguel.
Absolutely.
That's a good way.
Get some new numbers. I'm serious. You're gonna get your blood pressure gonna go down. All your depression, all of that is just gonna go away. It is the most nurturing place that I have ever been. It feeds your soul, like Melanie said. It feeds your soul just from the atmosphere. It feeds your soul from the services that you can get there, like the Temazcal, and we went to the hot springs and the body massages. And and can we just talk about the food? Oh my Lord.
And the pastry.
Hallelujah. The food was just phenomenal. And every place we went to, it was different. And it was not just eating something, it was an experience. Like when we went to the last place we went to, Michelle, Melanie wasn't with us, but the last place we went to the night before I left,
where was that? What did we have? Because we ate at a lot of places.
The Bastard or something. The Bastard.
Oh, Bastardo.
Yeah, yes, that was an experience. Right. Michelle took us to a ranch one day.
Pavo Real.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I have to give April her props because.
Oh my goodness. Every one of your guests need to go out there. That needs to be on the itinerary from now on. Right. I went out, she invited us to go. So I'm thinking it's just, we're just going on a little afternoon escapade. But when we got out there was this family style table and they were serving food. And I had to just pinch myself and say, am I really here right now? Because it was such an experience. The atmosphere and this environment that she has created with the animals and the grape harbors and her wine cellar. Melanie wasn't able to go to that because her body was hurting. And I really missed that for her because that would have been her kind of place to go. But it was a phenomenal trip. like I said, my life has changed because of it. And I've told some of my neighbors, I said, what I appreciate about Mexico is people just live there. And when I say that, I'm not deminimizing it. I'm not simplifying it. I'm not making it something less than that we do here, but they've captured the essence of life. Life is not about this big house with all of these things in it so that you can show that I have this and I have that. They just live. They live and they are so willing to share what they have, and they give. They just give. And that's what I saw.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful.
It's a matter of they've changed or mastered or learned. I think it's just their culture.
It's just their culture.
We have that culture, but we've been trained in
capitalism.
Yeah, absolutely.
Capitalism, which is a rat wheel trying to capture
has to drive it.
This. Yeah. This capitalism and the I got to have. And one thing I appreciate Miss Gloria who was the guest while we were there, she kept telling me, Teresa, you will not need as much money as you think you will need to live here. You will not. You're going to be just fine. You're going to be just fine. We went to several different grocery stores, and we went to City Market, and that's a city in itself and a beautiful city.
It really is.
It is.
Oh my
it's
God.
Gorgeous. But I appreciated the little side markets that we would go to because those were the little mom and pop places, and you just got that special touch of service that you don't necessarily get. Not that
the
City Market was. Oh.
That's right. She kept saying, Michelle, can we go to Buonfrano?
Let me just tell you. I was in Winter Park on Sunday here in Orlando, and we went to a French bakery, and I looked, and it had that same little lemon custard. So I was like, oh, it's here. It's here. I had this in Mexico. Well, lo and behold, I get home. I just wanted to throw that thing up beside the wall because I'm like, this is not even it. The croissant wasn't the same. The lemon tart wasn't the same. I'm thinking to myself, can I go back to San Miguel? There is a difference. There's truly a difference.
There's truly a difference.
There's a difference.
You can taste the love.
Yes, you can.
That's true.
The care and the pride. They take pride in what they're doing.
Yeah.
My stay at Casa ELM was absolutely wonderful because Michelle upgraded me to the king room.
Still jealous.
Beautiful room, and at first when I got there, she was like, "There's no air conditioning." And I'm a Florida girl, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, there's no air? What do you mean there's no air?" But we did okay. We got good. There were a couple of nights when hot flash would come, but in the morning you find yourself tucked under the cover because it's so cold.
Yeah. And
I think sometimes it's just good not to have unnatural air, to just be able to exist in the natural air.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely wonderful. So if you are one of those sisters, brothers, whoever you may be, and you're trying to figure out, do I need to go see about it, or if I need to move there? Definitely. I have a couple other places on my list that I want to go and travel to before I make my move. I have about 5.5 years before I can officially retire, unless something wonderful happens in my life and I can do it sooner. But that gives me time to come back to San Miguel and visit, and maybe even go see some other parts of Mexico, and to go see some other places in the country. I do know this, and this is what I told my friends and my neighbors: I will not be in the United States. It definitely confirmed that for me, because we don't know how to live over here. That's what it showed me. These people are living on less than we have, and it's better. I don't care what, it's better. It was just better. So I appreciated that. The other ladies that I met there, the evening we had the dinner, it was just wonderful. It was something out of when I was growing up, we had Ebony magazine and Jet magazine. We should be in the middle of We should have been in the middle of every magazine.
That's right. Go right to the center,
Sisters move, sisters take over San Miguel Allende.
That's right. I know. And that's what's happening.
Yeah. And I told Michelle, I said, one day you are going to be in a major magazine and it's going to say that. This, you know, she came to Mexico and carved out a place for us. And it's a very special place. And like I told you in the prayer, when I was there, you just stay on that narrow path, Michelle, because God called you to this and he's going to provide for you and Micah until eternity. So it's good. It's all good. I love you. You are my sister, but you are my friend. I just so appreciate you. Like, this was something I learned about in 2006. Someone told me about San Miguel and I've been talking about it for years that I was going to go there. And I finally, when I saw you on House Hunters, I said, I can go there now. And then when you started your channel and then you said Casa ELM, I was like, oh, I know I can go there. In fact, I was just telling a friend of mine how I went and where I stayed. And I said, you know, she made me feel safe because you hear all the horror stories about Mexico, but she basically she took care of me from the moment I got off the plane in Mexico City and flew into Querétaro, and from Querétaro to San Miguel, getting back. Like my going home experience was wonderful. And as a matter of fact, when I got in the van to go home, the lady who led our Temazcal, we put up in front of this house, and he's looking for the other party that gets on the van to go to the airport. And this gentleman and his two daughters get in the van.
Oh, okay.
And his I have to call her back. Anyway, this gentleman and his two daughters get in the van and we ride down the road about 10 miles. And he said, my wife just texted me and said, you were at her Temazcal yesterday. Yes, and I remember looking, and when we drove over, I was like, I know her.
Yes, that's her. So that's her, Jonathan and her daughter.
Yes. So we had a wonderful conversation all the way to Querétaro and in the airport, and then we flew, to Mexico City. So it was nice. It was really nice. I had a wonderful time.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I wanted to also elaborate just a tad. One of the things that I like to do and will continue to do is whenever someone's coming, especially like yourself, if you're flying alone or whatever, I always tell everyone like, hey, here, and Brianna is as well is our house manager, and we give numbers so you don't feel like just kind of like a fish out of water, because it can be a little intimidating to hold on a second, because the window's open, so it keeps blowing my little screen down. I'm sorry. Okay, that's better. Got to close it. But it can be a little intimidating, especially with your experience, what happened with the flight and all the confusion. And Mexico City airport is huge. It's a mess.
And crazy.
The language, the whole nine. And I remember that night, I was just like, oh my gosh, like I haven't heard from her. And then like 11:30 in the night, you called me, and of course you were exhausted because it was a full day of travel. And then, to have it be delayed to the next day. And she's like, I don't know if I'm supposed to come. I'm like, yes, you're supposed to come. I was like,
that's the first thing I said. I think God's telling me I'm not supposed to do this.
I was like, no, God's not. This.
You got to learn to listen to the whole message.
Yeah, exactly. And I said, it's okay.
You wasn't finished talking.
Exactly. She was so stressed out. And I said,
it was stress.
Get some rest. Don't worry about it. I'm glad that they, were accommodating enough to get you into a hotel room. And
a nice
they made it right. They corrected it. And I would recommend for anyone, if you're traveling, give yourself a day to get there. Don't include that in your time you're going to stay, and give yourself however many days you want to be there, and then a day to leave. So I thought about that. My whole trip was 13 days. So that gave me, supposedly it was supposed to be 11 days in San Miguel, but it ended up being 10. But it was good. Like I felt like y'all can just send me my mail now. I'm good.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, there are always, you know, challenges at some point during our travels. In general, like, you know, sometimes it goes well and sometimes it just goes awry. But the point is that, you know, we're here and, you know, we try to make this experience where you feel, like you said, safe. You feel like, okay, I can call. You know, I've had other clients that came and they're just like, I've never traveled internationally by myself, where I haven't traveled by myself. And I'm like, you've got this, like, it's okay. It's the same as traveling in the US. You just, you know, of course, the language is intimidating, but most people in those spaces in the airport speak English and you can get to where you need to get to. And we're here, you know, we are here to help you out. Yeah. Cause I was like, where's Teresa?
I know.
10, 11. I was like, oh my
I really
God.
appreciate you just deflating me. Because it is undaunting, it's intimidating, it's scary when you don't speak the language and you're asking people stuff and all they're doing is pointing in one direction. So, but you know, God took care of me. They sent me to a really nice hotel that night and provided transportation there and back. So I can't even complain about that.
Yeah,
it was
perfect.
good. It was
But you
wonderful.
made it. So it was such a pleasure for me, but also just hosting you all and just hanging out. I mean, we hung out a lot.
We did.
You know, we cooked on Sunday. We did a Sunday dinner. I usually do a farewell dinner with my relocation tour, but we did a Sunday dinner, and Teresa jumped in and made her curried oxtails, which was amazing. Miss Gloria jumped in and made some other yummies. I think she was doing plantains when I got there.
Yeah, she helped with the oxtails too. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, and so, and your culinary, you know, kind of background was really a lot of fun for us. I love having those dinners at Casa ELM.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I look forward to coming back and cooking them again.
Yes, anytime. Come on down. Yes, and oh, by the way, oxtails are very affordable here as of right now. But we got to
like $3 a pound.
Right, we got to keep it on the DL though. We really do.
And they're good. They're good oxtails. They're good oxtails. Yeah,
Nice,
not like the ones they have here. Find the meat in the fat.
That's right. Well, it depends on where you get it from.
Yeah,
we got some fancy ones from City Market, which is one of the real high-end grocery stores. And then there's also the stuff from the butcher, but you know, for the
they were
price,
all
I'm like,
good.
I'll clean it. I'll clean it.
Yeah.
I'll clean it up a little bit. So no, that's amazing. So you're also from Florida. I don't know.
Yes, I'm from Florida. I grew up in Gainesville, Florida. I went to Florida State University and I got my degrees from there in Florida A&M. And I've really been in the Central Florida area most of my life. I moved away to Charlotte for about 3.5 years, but ended up coming back to this area. And I've been back now 12 years.
Okay.
So, and I have about 5 more years left here. God's will.
Or less.
Or less.
Right. I'm hoping and believing less. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you.
Always got you.
Yeah, we're progressing on that.
That's right. Manifesting it. That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
Well, I have to say, I really appreciated you all coming here to talk about your experience and just having fellowship and sisterhood and everything, being patient too with the process. Because, I think sometimes people don't always know what to expect when they get here. And I think you can, depending on what you want to focus on, I'm going to focus on all these new kind of interesting things, focus on the circle that exist. And, one of the things that I always talk about is being able to connect almost instantly with community here. And I feel like that was one of the draws for me. I didn't know that until I came, and I was just kind of like, oh, I have friends and I'm creating roots here.
You've acclimated. You've acclimated very well. Very well.
Thank you. And it's, so for me, being able to share that, starting Afro Expats back was about just, and I say this all the time, was like, what is my life like from my eyes? You know, what's my life like from my viewpoint? It wasn't even just about being a Black person, but more about letting Black folks know, like, there are alternatives out there for you. And if you can, or if you want to, you know, you start working on, how do I get to a different place if that's what I desire? I know a lot of people will discourage those that they feel are just a little odd, but you know, odd is okay. We're accepted as being a little odd, or different, or a little bit out there. But at the same time, it's kind of one of those things where you may not always have that encouragement that you need, or, you know, that kind of understanding, like, oh, you know, this doesn't suit me anymore, so I want to try something else. So that was the point. It's like, I wanted people to see, I'm just a normal person living my normal life here in Mexico. And, you know, now, yes, being able to offer these services and be here as a person who has had this experience, and being able to say, hey, you know what, come experience something a little bit different. And also, you know, also making people understand the culture here, and being aware of the traditions as well. Because I know that that's something that a lot of folks talk about, gentrification and, you know, colonizing and all this stuff. And I just think, well, I feel like gentrification is inevitable worldwide. And if you are part of that in any way, just making sure you're walking graciously and walking with understanding about the culture here. So these are all the things that I am also trying to continue to incorporate. Like when we did the Temazcal, I mean, you know, that, and I said it to you, true Mexican authentic experience.
Oh yeah.
Right?
It's in the hood.
And all,
it's in the
right?
hood. It's in the hood. It's definitely in the hood. The roosters running around like dogs.
And dogs. And,
you know, you looking around like, okay, is the mountain gonna come down on top of us? But once you get there, you appreciate the environment for what it is.
Exactly.
And the fact that they're so gracious in sharing
exactly
their experience. And this was the most heartwarming part to me at the end, when she brought us something to eat, like to share her little meal. And and it was just wonderful, because I kind of went in there going, what do you mean we gonna pray over the spirits, and what is this with this stuff fanning it? Wait a minute now. You know, I'm gonna be honest, when she was praying, I was praying to Jesus too, but
oh Lord.
it was a good experience. And the next day I woke up and my skin, like, oh my gosh, 2 days later, your skin looks like somebody turns the light on under it.
Exactly. So, and you know, and this is kind of, for me, one of the things that I just, you know, I'm like, as much as I can dig deeper beneath, you know, just the surface of okay, I need a house, I need an apartment, you know, like what else is happening here that
we're missing life because we're so busy trying to get the American dream here.
Exactly.
You can have a good life in Mexico for a little bit of money if you just receive the message of less is more.
Exactly.
And less is more.
Exactly. You know, and I mean, I always say to each their own, but at the same time, I feel like when I see how locals kind of embrace life, it makes you slow down. It really makes you slow down and think and appreciate, and also just how giving they are to you as a person. There's a lot of humanity, and I feel that that's one of the things that we start to lose in our culture in the United States, is there's not as much humanity. You can see someone suffering or someone needs something, and it almost kind of seems like people feel bothered to help in some kind of way. And here it's really not that. I really think that, and I'm saying in general, you know, I mean, I know there's a lot of crime. I know there's violence in parts of Mexico, but I also kind of feel like, you know, not to the extent that we've been brainwashed to believe at all.
By no means.
So not that. Yeah, it's not that at all.
Just like anything else, you know, that's just how we receive the information that wants to be given. You got to go beyond that for yourself.
Mhm.
And I think there's a thinner veil in other countries that don't necessarily pull the wool so tightly over your eyes. And Mexico is one of those places. They have nothing to try to convince anyone of that we're the greatest country. We're a great country. We've done. They are just who they are. And in other countries, I found that embrace just who they are, have so much more to offer than anyone. Than so-called the richest country. You know, there's so much more to offer. It's all a game that if you can see past the veil, you'll find more truth. And Mexico's truth is they wear their truth. They live their truth. You can see it. You can tell.
Exactly.
And they're so happy.
Yeah.
You know, when you tell people you're going to Mexico, oh, you don't want to go there, they're going to kill you, or oh, you don't want to go there, they're going to turn you into a consuela and you're going to be cleaning their house. That's what one of my neighbors said to me, and I was like, for real?
Wow.
But
that's so crazy.
I have come back and I have shouted from the mountainside that it's a wonderful place to visit. A wonderful place to visit.
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, I love living here, as you all know, and that's why
love where you
the
live
whole
there.
purpose. Yeah, that's all the reason why that I'm sitting here talking to you and doing what I do. And yeah, you know, there's stresses with having the space for people and things like that, but I am just so incredibly grateful for yourself, people like yourself, and just, you know, just where I am right now. I really am. I'm grateful to the locals who hold it down on this end in terms of helping, and the whole nine, you know, Brianna, Carmen, my housekeeper, and her husband.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just so like, oh, thank you, Jesus. And Maru, and, you know, all the folks
Ruben,
that kind of jump
Ruben,
in.
your driver.
Yes, Ruben, when he shows up. Thank you. Just everything, you know, and even for some of my other, you know, neighbors and friends who continuously support, you know, these efforts and things. Like anytime hey, free food, dinner, come by, meet some people, they show up. They're like,
Anne-Marie.
Yeah, exactly. Anne-Marie, Stephanie of Smart Space, and just this really amazing circle of folks. Dixie, you know, I know you guys met her, but it's just growing, and it's growing more. And I'm seeing a lot of people kind of branching out. Shan, I don't know if you got to meet Shan. I don't know if she was here or not. Mona Lisa, but just like, you know, making their own and forming their own like circle things, because I can't always be present for everything. And I just love it. I'm like, again, I just feel like a mama hen. I'm just like, little chicks. Yeah.
It's
so
truly
been beautiful.
It's a movement. I feel it really truly is a movement. And granted, I'm one of those awkward ones that you mentioned. We can call ourselves awkward or whatever, but because I find my own truths in multiple things, including religion. But it's truly a sign of the age of Aquarius. What you're doing, what others are making moves to do for once in their life, like find their happiness. Right, because nothing external is going to bring it. You got to find it yourself. And I'm all about it. I'm in the center of the movement.
Good for you. Good for you. I know you love the woo woo, so there's plenty of that down here.
The center of the movement. So I congratulate you. You have done the kickstart for
a phenomenal job.
You have no idea the impact you are probably making right now, but you will. And that's going to be the beauty, is you seeing it. You will.
I appreciate that.
Because more are coming. More are coming.
Come on down. I mean,
I told you one day you're gonna have a waiting list.
I'm fine. With I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I'm like,
I'll take a hammock in the yard. It doesn't matter.
No, we're gonna make a nice, lovely hammock down in the meditation for you. Light some incense and candles, and call Laura. Hey, she needs a
There you
massages. No, I appreciate both of you so much, and all the ladies that have already passed through and that are planning to come to future things. Yeah, without you, I would just be a face talking on a camera. Seriously, I truly mean that. This doesn't exist without, that support and belief and confidence. So although it's, for me, it's like, yeah, I'll talk about San Miguel, but I know that I would not even be here if this wasn't something that people supported and or needed or wanted. So I'm really happy to be a catalyst for it. And I'm super, super grateful and gracious in every way, super humbled by it all. I really am. Like, sometimes I'm just like, oh, okay, thank you. But yeah, I try my best to make the experience memorable and lasting and hopefully life-changing in the end. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Well, thank you. If there's anything else you want to add, otherwise we can get back to our Tuesday evening here.
I just want to once again thank you for being a fabulous host. And like I said before, you're not just my host, you're my friend and my sister, and I love and appreciate you. And I will forever support you and do whatever I can to make sure that Casa ELM and your endeavors are a success, whatever I can do. I really appreciate it. I will be back.
Thank you so much. Yes, you have to. We still owe you a horse ride.
When you took me to that ranch, you took care of that.
You got a picture of a horse.
Yeah. And a donkey too.
That's right. That's right. And the peacock. I forgot about the peacock. Yeah.
And the hot air balloon.
Yes. That's another good thing about it. Don't be surprised if you're at Casa ELM and you hear this noise outside your room. It's a hot air balloon right in front of your face.
That's right. All right. Anything else before we wrap it up? Thank you.
No, make your reservations. That's all I can say.
Yes. We do have more tours. I think we're sold out for the rest of 22 with private rooms and private bathrooms, but we also have 2 private rooms with a shared bathroom, and we encourage anyone who wants to travel like as friends or family, or if you know each other, we do offer a better rate and deal. You can find that at CasaELM.com. Or expatlifemexico.com. If you're interested, you're welcome to RSVP there. And we do have a list already for 2023 of upcoming relocation tours. And yes, any questions at all, we try our best to respond within 24 hours. You can feel free to email us or whatever. And yeah, that's what we're here for, trying to make that smooth landing, soft landing into San Miguel or even Mexico in general. So thank you so much, ladies. Thanks for coming. Thanks for talking to me this evening. Thanks for visiting, and thanks for supporting this. I truly, truly, truly appreciate it. Bottom of my heart, absolutely. And I love you both. And I know I'm going to see you here again soon.
I'll send you some pictures of Michelle and myself so that you can add them to your when you did everything.
Yes, we'll definitely
I'll do that right. Okay, I'll do that right now. All right, we love you.
Love you too. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Bye, ladies. Have a good night.
Wonderful trip.
Thank you.
You're going for 2 weeks, right?
I think a week and a half, and then I have a relocation tour like the next day. So I'm gonna be like,
is Miss Gloria with you?
Yeah, she is.
Okay, good.
She decided to come. So we are going to be 5 total. We're leaving all tomorrow morning at 5:30. The bus leaves San Miguel to Mexico City Airport.
Oh, wow.
Early.
The next time I come, if I'm in somewhere, I'm taking the bus.
Yes,
to go to the other cities.
Yes, and it's so beautiful. It's a beautiful ride.
I think that'll take the stress out of it too, because then you just get to Mexico City or wherever.
The airport.
The airport, whatever a connection it is, and then just get on the bus.
Yeah, and you can take a bus from Terminal 1 and Terminal 2 directly to either Querétaro or directly to San Miguel. They're a little limited, like the ETN, I think the ETN bus is the one that provides the service directly to San Miguel. And then they have ETN and Primera Plus will direct to Querétaro. And then from Querétaro, you can catch a bus to San Miguel. But the buses that leave from Querétaro and leave from Mexico City back and forth are every 30 minutes. I looked it up online. They were like every 30 minutes. They start at midnight, 12, 12:30, 1, 1:30, all day. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But San Miguel, it's a little bit more limited. That's why we're leaving at 5:30 tomorrow morning, because that's what they had to the airport. And Micah's flight is at 4:25 in the afternoon. So that was kind of like the best option for me to get him checked in and get us settled. So we actually don't fly out until Thursday. Yeah.
Okay, so you're spending the night in Mexico City. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna all spend the night, because I told the ladies that you can meet me on Thursday morning if you want. They were like, they don't want to go it alone. They're like, no, we're gonna come with you. Yeah. I said, okay, fine.
No, we gonna follow Moses.
Harriet.
Harriet Tubman.
Awesome.
All right, love.
All right. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, besitos.